Coming up on Confidential. Sable gets a second chance.
We're all human, we all make mistakes. Luckily, I didn't burn my bridges, they just crumbled a little bit.
And Trish gives this not-so-ordinary Joe a reality check.
Basically, you don't mess with Trish Stratus. You don't not pick her. And you don't deceive her, because then she ends up delivering Stratisfaction.
Hi again, everyone. I'm Gene Okerlund, and this is WWE Confidential. When Rowdy Roddy Piper made his shocking return at WrestleMania 19, who knew it would be the beginning of a trend? Last Monday, Kevin Nash made a triumphant return to Raw, but the scene that had everybody doing a double take was the diva of all divas, the one and only Sable, making her presence felt on SmackDown. No question, Sable set the trend for the modern-day WWE diva. But why is she back? When Sable left the company a few years back, she was the most recognizable female superstar in the industry. Unfortunately, a very public and a very ugly dispute made headlines in all the tabloids. Sable unleashed her frustrations in the form of a $100 million lawsuit. The suit was dropped before it made it to court. At that point, you would have thought it was a sure bet that we'd never see Sable in the WWE again. That's exactly why I don't gamble anymore.
Wait a minute! It can't be! No! Oh my! It's Sable! I never thought I'd see Sable back in the WWE, but she's here tonight. She's on SmackDown!
As of tonight, Sable is back in the WWE. And even though I've been gone for a long time, there are some things that just never change. I see all my men still come to see me. And all the women, well, they still want to be me.
Sable's back right here on SmackDown. Sable is back.
I think the thing that I most want people to know about me and my return is how happy I am to be back, how much I'm looking forward to it. You know, we're all human. We all make mistakes, bad choices. Luckily, I didn't burn my bridges. They just crumbled a little bit. They were able to be repaired. I'm very fortunate enough to have people that were willing to let bygones be bygones, put the past behind you, and move forward. I never thought that I would be here again, and I'm sure most of the talent and most of the fans never thought that I would return. But I really hope that not only the fans, but the talent also see that I still have a lot to prove. I still have a lot to offer. And I have such a renewed energy and confidence in myself and my ability. I really come back with a great sense of appreciation, happiness. I cannot tell you how happy and elated I feel just to be here. My first goal is to gain the confidence of the WWE talent once again, to gain the confidence of the fans once again, let everyone know that I am back with a vengeance. I think my strengths would probably be that most people look at me and underestimate my ability. But I think that that's my biggest advantage, is that people do underestimate me. I think I have a lot of really special qualities about myself. Oh, let's see, where should I start? The fact that I am just incredibly sweet, ultra sexy. I think the one thing that really sets me apart is I like to be spontaneous. I like to just really enjoy my life, have fun. I like to laugh, be happy. I'm very happy, much happier today with the woman that I have become than the woman I was when I left the first time. I believe that the women of the WWE today contribute so much to the show. I know that there have been many women past that have made it possible for us now to have the opportunity that we have, and unfortunately they didn't have the great opportunities that we do today. I myself like to think that I was one of those women that opened a lot of doors for the other women in this business. But I know that even since I've left, there have been great roads taken that have just led to more opportunity for all the women. And I think that the women in themselves have become their own little division of the company. And I think they deserve it. They work very hard. They're very confident in themselves. They have just as much ability. And it's good to see that they now have that opportunity. I most look forward to coming back to the WWE because after being away for 4 years, you undoubtedly realize that there is no place like it. The fans are just incredible. They have supported me while I was here and since I've been away, and I hope that they continue to support me when I come back.
Still to come, we pull out the spread on Sable's past.
I have been known to be very revealing in my outfits and very creative. I don't know if you can call latex paint an outfit, but...
And up next, the courageous career of Arn Anderson.
The mentality of the guys my age in this business was, unless it was something that was death-oriented, you didn't go to the doctor because you didn't miss a shot.
He just kept going, and finally, you know, as you could tell, the atrophy in his hand got to be the point, and the pain, and he just had put up with it long enough. We all said, God, you know, Arn, go to the doctor.
Bonjour, mon nom est Sylvain Grenier.
Et je m'appelle René Duperret.
We are here to announce and we're coming soon to compete in WWE.
We don't expect a warm reception from you Americans because we are French.
And we don't let you Americans push us around.
It seems you Americans have the mistaken perception that we are sissies because of our culture and class.
But it is you Americans that are weak and oppressive.
So we are coming to the WWE to teach you Americans a lesson.
N'ayez pas peur.
Don't be afraid.
This is the game, Triple H. Sending best wishes to all of America's military serving in Operation Iraqi Freedom. All of America is proud of you.
Hey, this is Chris Jericho of the WWE offering a salute to all the men and women who proudly serve in the armed forces of the United States. You are the defenders of our freedom, and we appreciate what you're doing. We sincerely thank you for what you're doing, and most importantly, we're praying for you. Come home safe, and thank you once again. We love you.
Over the past couple of weeks, we've seen a blending of the old and the new here in WWE. As the WWE superstars establish new trends for the 21st century in sports entertainment, there has always been a great amount of respect for those who have paved the way. Superstars come and superstars go, but there are a handful who will live on in professional wrestling lore forever.
Ric Flair was one of the guys that was most influential in getting my career really going. I was in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, wrestling for the Fullers, and the top ring rope broke. Splat right on the concrete. Woke up in an ambulance on my way to the hospital.
I took Arn to the hospital, stayed with him all night long.
Now here's the world champion who took the time to stay with a little kid from Rome, Georgia, which I thought was pretty damn outstanding.
We became friends right away, and I always, you know, to this day, I mean, it's just something special that I will feel for Arn Anderson. Of course, now he's like my brother.
I don't think I'll ever really be able to repay that.
He had a game plan. At that point in time, I think I was trying to talk him into coming to Charlotte.
He said, buddy, you need to come to Charlotte. It's fixing to bust loose. You make a ton of bread. I didn't want to leave.
You know, he was thinking about it, and then rethinking it.
Rick, I'm having fun. He said, well, I'm telling you.
I had clearly at that point put the pressure on him to move to Charlotte and come work for Jim Crockett.
Got me booked in Charlotte, and he was exactly right. From there, it was pay dirt. 85, 86, 87.
I first met Arn Anderson in the Charlotte Coliseum. He was just coming to work for us a little bit before the Four Horsemen thing started.
The Four Horsemen was kind of a fluke thing. We were in Charlotte. They were short on interview time, so they had to consolidate Flair's interview with Blanchard's interview, who had single matches, and Ole and I had a tag match. So they put us all out there. Somehow it just popped in my head, you know, the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. So I'd be damned.
When this whole idea came to pass years ago, nobody had any idea of the magnitude it would have on this sport.
Funny story, Ole and Gene Anderson I was terrified of.
There's a shot of Gene Anderson.
Must have been about 14 or 15. We went to the matches there in Rome.
I'd get me a pocket full of rocks, and when the Andersons, would be pitch black, would come out, start to get on their cars, we would bomb them. Boom, boom, boom. And we would take off, cross the field, right out that other gate. I told Ole about this much, much later, as you can imagine. It's something he remembered, and he got a kick out of it. It's almost surreal to go from being a punk kid here throwing rocks at those guys to having Ole as a partner.
Introducing the current holders of the National Tag Team Championship, ladies and gentlemen, the Minnesota Wrecking Crew, Ole and Arn Anderson.
I wasn't the flash of the Four Horsemen. I wasn't the speed. Wasn't the handsome one with the great body. My job was to get in there, get in the trenches.
The man they call the Enforcer, Arn Anderson.
Other than a term of endearment, I kind of took that as like a challenge every day of my life that I went in that ring, because my job basically was to knock heads.
A lot of wrestling fans say that Gene Anderson is the toughest of all the Andersons, but most people are saying it's that man right there in the ring, the young one, the strong one, the Enforcer. Arn Anderson is an animal.
At the same time, very charismatic, and he's one of the most creative thinkers in terms of speaking that I've ever been around.
You don't go out and commit grand larceny in the public world. You understand me? You steal $250,000, they put you in prison for about 20 years. This belongs to me, Gibson, so don't commit theft.
A lot of stuff that I used over the years, I would say, footnote Arn Anderson, you know, in my interviews. He's a great thinker, very original, and exceptionally quick. He and Bobby Heenan probably being the two quickest.
We take public opinion, we shove it in the toilet with the rest of the garbage, and we do what we want to do.
Arn would come up with phrases and stuff. I mean, he would just ding, ding, ding. He could needle guys.
Rhodes, Steamboat, get your job at 7-Eleven, because when I'm done with you and the smoke clears, I'm all that's left.
I always found that if I could relate something in day-to-day life that those people could relate to and understand, use an analogy that they could put in their head and go, yeah, okay, I get that, then you could get through to people. And once you hook them and they start listening to you, pretty soon they start watching you. Well, there's one promo that I guess I'll never forget that I hear in my sleep now, was my retirement speech, because it wasn't a promo. I didn't rehearse it. Wasn't scripted. It just came from the heart.
Everybody knows I've got average size and speed and average ability, but I've parlayed that into what I would call a very successful career.
The thing I love most in this world, other than my family, was this business of wrestling. It's all I ever wanted to do my whole life, and I had to tell myself on national television that it was over. My ultimate demise, the end of my career, was a 3-part scenario. Wrestling the Rockers, Marty Jannetty went to victory roll me. I didn't get tucked. Boom, head first in the mat. Broke my neck the first time.
I can remember him calling me maybe a week after it happened, saying, God, you know, Rick, my neck is bad, but, you know, I'll get through it. Then he heard it 2 or 3 other times, you know, when he came back to WCW, but he just kept going and going, and finally he just had put up with it long enough. We all said, God, you know, Arn, go to the doctor.
Went to the doctor, went through a battery of tests. Let me show you something. You broke your neck here, here, and here. So basically that's it in a nutshell. 3 different bad situations, ultimately won the war.
Well, the fact is, I got nothing left to give. And I want you to remember me as I was, not as I am.
The speech on Nitro, in my mind, it will be one of the highlights of his career and one of the saddest moments in my career. I hope that he's remembered and held in his highest esteem and the highest level of respect given to anybody that's been in this business, because he deserves that.
And other than be anything than the enforcer, in my best friend's eyes, I'd rather walk away. My best friend was there with me the night I said goodbye, and very few people get to do that.
When we return, Linda looks back on the career path of America's most celebrated family.
Now imagine Vince McMahon calling door to door to sell adding machines and calculators.
There's new school and there's old school. Then there's being taken to school. In the case of WWE superstars, being taken to school can have a negative connotation. But when it's WWE CEO Linda McMahon, taking you to school means showing up on time, sitting up straight, and taking plenty of notes. If you don't believe me, ask the students of Nassau Community College. They took a course in WWE attitude, taught by Professor McMahon and some superstar teachers' assistants.
We're at the Nassau County Community College, and I'm professor for a day, along with several of WWE superstars who are associate professors for today.
This is a great day for students. I mean, this is the kind of education I wish I had when I was going to college as a young guy.
Linda McMahon and Vince McMahon were, I think, this group's #1 choice to have for a professor for a day. They're going to get to hear a little bit about the WWE, how it was started, where we stand now, you know, the type of entertainment we put on. We're going to get to answer some questions. It's a fun day.
I didn't envision that I would one day be part of World Wrestling Entertainment. I'm very happy to be here. I married this guy, and he had all kind of plans. Vince's father wanted his son not to be in the promotion business, not to be in wrestling. Geez, Vince, you need to have something that's got security. Now imagine Vince McMahon calling door to door to sell adding machines and calculators. It wasn't something he was in love with. It just didn't happen for him. He had a real love for this particular business, our industry, and I was fortunate enough to work with Vince as we bought his father's company. Vince really had a vision of a national company. In the early days of this particular business, the country was divided into territories. These different territories were no different than us, but we delivered a better product. We were on a national platform with USA Network. We continued our syndicated show, and by the mid-'80s, we had about 90% penetration throughout the country, and we were pretty much on our way to being successful. So today, how do you continue to grow? Keep your eye focused on what do you want to see? We have sexuality. We have action-adventure. We have the hurricane. We have absolutely something for everyone. I think it was important for them to know that you don't always wind up where you start, and it's important to look at opportunity as opportunity.
It's amazing how I look at the first 23 and a half years of my life as compared to the last 2 years. It's nowhere near the same. What a lot of people got to see with the Tough Enough show is that I came into World Wrestling Entertainment as a school teacher. This has truly been a lifelong dream of mine, and when your dreams are answered, it's the best feeling in the world.
Growing up in Brooklyn, it was rough because of the fact that my mother had me when she was very young, and my grandmother was kind of the fist of the whole thing, and she is what kept the family together. Statistically, me growing up in the projects, I wasn't supposed to make it. But because I had a goal and because I wanted to achieve it and make it, I did it. If you fail to prepare, you're preparing yourself to fail.
Before I started this business, I was pre-med, and my ultimate goal was to become a doctor. And someone said to me once, they said, you know, in a day you can see maybe 10 to 15 patients, you know, just make an impact. But in this business, we touch so many more people in different ways. And you know, it's not medically, but we change people's lives. I get letters, I get emails. I'm very thankful for that, and we appreciate all your support, and we hope we can give back to you whatever we can.
Outside of wrestling, these people are so intellectual. They get in touch with the public. They're not all about what you see on television.
Hearing some of the personal stories, but from our superstars and things I had said, it made them realize that, you know, they can be successful and that there is an American dream there.
When we return, the voluptuous vixen shows us how she became the original diva.
It certainly got a lot of attention, and you know, that's the name of the game. You want people to talk, and whether it's good or bad, as long as they pronounce my name right, I'm happy.
Every superstar in the WWE hopes to make a lasting impression on the fans and the industry as a whole. In the end, that becomes the measure of superstardom. As we saw earlier tonight, Sable shocked the world with her return to SmackDown last week. Whatever her reasons for being here, there can be no denying the impact that she has made during her illustrious career.
My debut. Whew. How many years ago now? I came out as Hunter Hearst Helmsley's valet.
The amount of the escorts Mr. Helmsley has had, I would suggest this is the most beautiful of them all. I'm not saying something. You're told her name is Sable.
That was my first introduction. And then that evening, I actually split with him and started working with Marvelous Mark Marrow. At the time, I was working with Mark, and he was really jealous of me. And he didn't want me to reveal my body in any way, so he had me wear a potato sack.
Come here, my little spud. You know, you look marvelous.
And another one, he had me come out in a big Rudolph costume with a big reindeer head.
Sable, Sable, if you're able, come on out from that reindeer stable.
Blinky nose and all.
Look at that, look at that. I bet your nose lights up when you're mad. Get out of the ring.
Those are probably the most frumpy outfits I've worn. But I always had something really sexy on under it.
Whoa, baby! That's what you call spreading the old holiday cheer right there, folks. That bathing suit doesn't leave a whole lot to the imagination.
I actually came out, bikini contest I think it was. Yes, it was a bikini contest where I wore nothing but handprints.
Oh! Now that is a bikini.
It was painted, latex. It was my idea and my husband's handprint, so it was a team effort. And I think another one that really shocked everyone was when I came out at the Slammies in a teabag crisscross type bathing suit, which, you know, by today's standards probably doesn't seem very, revealing, but at the time it was, the talk of the town. It wasn't so much me, it was the bathing suit, but.
Unbelievable.
It won Miss Slammy for me, so I was very excited about that. But I have been known to be very revealing in my outfits and very creative. I don't know if you can call latex paint an outfit, but it's certainly got a lot of attention. And, that's the name of the game. You want people to talk, whether it's good or bad. As long as they pronounce my name right, I'm happy. For the next year or so, I worked just as a valet. And then I was asked if I would be interested in becoming a wrestler. And I decided that it would be a wonderful opportunity for me. I certainly enjoyed being a valet, but I wanted to progress and further my career. We also liked the spotlight, and I knew that I would get much more of it if I was on my own, and decided to go after the Women's Championship belt, and was able to achieve that. I wore that belt very proudly, and I hope to do so once again. Well, I had a lot of evening gown matches, had a lot of panty and bra matches. One that really stands out in my mind was the match I had with Goldust and Luna against myself and my husband.
I think the look on Sable's face tells the story of this matchup. She is intense, she is focused, she has one thing on her mind, and that is to take Luna apart.
There are not many mixed tag matches where husband and wife get to compete against another team.
Sable's clothesline and Luna over the top. I can't believe it. Good Lord, oh, Sable came to fight. Unbelievable.
And then my husband and I fought against each other several times. I actually lost a match to him at one point where he made me leave the WWE.
Chivalrous. Wait a minute. What?
Here is your winner,
Standing in the ring singing na 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 na. And then the whole crowd goes,
Hey! Goodbye!
Goodbye. That was definitely not a highlight. That was probably a low light in my career. There have been a lot of special moments. Winning 2 Slammies, being, the women's champion. But I believe I still have so much more to offer and so much further to go. I like to look back on my career, but I don't like to live in the past. I just really look forward to the challenges that await me.
Up next, the King has an eye for playmates and puts it to good use.
Today was the ultimate. Today was the best. I mean, it was just like, those puppies up close and personal. Can't beat it.
What do you say about someone who gets to be a WWE superstar and a Playboy photographer? What else can you say except it's very, very, very good to be the King? Jerry the King Lawler had the privilege of joining the ranks of Tommy Lee, Nelly, DMX, Carmen Electra, and Marilyn Manson as celebrity photographers for Playboy.com.
We are in the Playboy headquarters in Chicago, and I had the pleasure of being a celebrity photographer today. Sometimes it's good to be the king, and this is one of those times.
Right.
Yes. Should I smile and not smile? I can't help but smile.
Yeah, that's very, very good.
I don't think there's a bad picture on there. That's going to intimidate your opponent. You're right there.
This is a dream come true for any red-blooded American male, I would think.
There you go. Give me that face. Oh, that's the attitude right there. I'd want to wrestle you all day and all night.
They couldn't have come up with a more beautiful model than Wendy. So, Wendy, you know what? I just had a great idea. What about after the photo shoot, you and I go back to my hotel room and order some pizza and maybe spend the night?
I don't think so.
You don't like pizza?
I don't know how I got so lucky to work with the King. He said, show me the puppies.
Puppy power, there it is, right there. I guess you can tell I'm not against naked women. At least not as often as I'd like to be. Oh, terrific. Yes. Oh, this is beautiful. I thought Monday Night Raw was a tough gig.
Really, I thought that it would be sort of a fake camera shoot, but, they gave me a real camera. I'm going to direct her? Oh, come on. Now, wait a minute. I was actually getting to give Wendy instructions.
Give me that mad look. Let me see that. Oh, yeah.
It was a real photo shoot, and they just stood back and took pictures of me taking pictures of Wendy.
At first, you could tell he was a little bit nervous.
Well, I was sweating Crisco, actually. Yeah, I was nervous, to be honest with you. When you're in a little bit of unfamiliar surroundings and doing something that you don't usually do, take pictures of naked women, that is a little bit intimidating.
Oh, yes. Excellent. You got to have a mean look when you're about to hit somebody with a chair. Can't smile at them right before you hit them with a chair. Great, great.
The neat thing about the entire photo shoot was it was the gradual progression. The first set of photographs was Wendy as she would appear if she was getting ready for a match. She was in the ring with a bikini attire on, and then somehow the top of the bikini disappeared, and then the next thing you know, the bottom was gone, and then I was ready for a match. It was great.
Oh, look at the puppies' pink little noses. Aren't they cute?
That was great. He had a great sense of humor, and I think we got along pretty well.
This photo shoot today, though, was even better than going to the match and even better than meeting Hugh Hefner. Today was the ultimate. Today was the best. I mean, it was just like, those puppies up close and personal. Can't beat it.
When we return, Trish takes it to this $1 million man.
Generally, when guys scorn me, they get their ass kicked.
You remember that Joe Millionaire show where the guy pretended to be a millionaire and all of these hopeful brides were duped into believing he was more than he turned out to be? In the end, most of the women were pretty upset. But for the most part, they attempted to conduct themselves in a ladylike manner. I couldn't help but wonder what the backlash would have been if one of our WWE divas, say women's champion Trish Stratus, was one of the lovely contestants. I wonder what she...
We're here today shooting the WWE Backlash promo, and it's basically a spoof on Joe Millionaire. And we're here in this beautiful house, which is going to resemble the estate of Joe Millionaire, but with a little twist, as we always do.
We wanted to take the main character in this reality show and basically show him that lying, cheating, and deceiving women is wrong.
And they said, well, it's a little spoof off of Joe Millionaire, and you get to work with Paul Hogan, which is the actual real butler, and Trish Stratus, the diva. And I said, wow, I like that. I could work with that. And 12 pretty girls also? Count me in.
Nice smiles, girls. You're happy you're walking in the room. This is the big moment with Joe where you might get a necklace and go on, so nice, happy, warm smiles. Excellent take. That was a really good take. That was great.
Certain girls in this commercial get a necklace, certain ones don't. So you think for the first half of the commercial that it is actually a commercial for that show. And then the commercial takes a whole new twist because we reveal WWE diva Trish Stratus.
You start looking off camera, and you look right into the camera, and you go,
he gets his ass kicked.
and that's when we cut to you just starting to kick his ass.
Action.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah. Trish Stratus is a very impressive young lady. She's certainly got a way with men, as I saw this afternoon. If you don't want to vex her in any way, and she'd be right on top of you. I think I could work very well as her buffer. I'd be very subservient and do exactly what I was told.
You don't mess with Trish Stratus. You don't not pick her. And you don't deceive her, because then she ends up delivering Stratisfaction.
Trish does not get chosen. Now, this does not sit well with Trish. So she gets a little upset, and she gives Joe a little beating. So her and me are gonna get into a little tiff where she kicks my ass, basically.
Generally, when guys scorn me, they get their ass kicked, yeah. Through a table, that happened. But of course, it's one of these things where we have like a one-take shot, you know, but we do that every week on our television show. So we're used to working under that kind of pressure.
Upset Trish Stratus? Not smart. Not smart. She's a tough girl. Trisha certainly has a way about her and her fighting ability. She knows how to look after herself. Outward appearances are very deceiving. And when she gets going, she's obviously very proficient in the pugilistic arts.
Now that was a twist.
Let me get this straight. He didn't pick Trish Stratus. I guess he got what he deserved. Before we leave you tonight, let's take a look at the Backlash commercial as Trish gives Joe a dose of reality.
They thought he had it all.
He's everything I've ever wanted in a man.
He thought the backlash was over.
This is true love.
What happens when one lie
He's the most honest man I've ever met.
breaks the hearts of millions of women across America?
He gets his butt kicked.
WWE Backlash, live April 27th on pay-per-view.
Now that was a twist.